are 2 points to today's show. 2 offerings of opportunity for loan officers and realtors alike. One that you probably already thought of, and one that you probably have not thought of yet. Now let's get into it. Here's the headline. Meet the homeowners giving up 4% interest rates and opting for cash outs. I told you that was going to happen. I knew it because collectively we're really gluttonous.
30% of mortgage applications are for refinances, yet 90% of mortgage originations are purchase loans, meaning your refis are getting turned down. Many of those turndowns are HELOCs, so cash out becomes the alternative. The average tappable home equity for homeowners was slightly over $200,000 in August 2023, up from $126,606 in August 2020. For cash out, HELOCs are 52% of the share in Q2. Cash out refis, about 48%. And get this, the average cash out borrower looking to refinance had a balance of about $165,000 in August, well down from where it's been over the past couple of years.
So I think this is pretty clear, isn't it? When the pain from your out-of-control revolving debt impacts your overindulgent lifestyle, you give up the 3s and the 4s and you take the 7s and the 8s when it comes to rates. But you see, it's not just a debt consolidation loan that people are getting right now, and I am dead serious about this, people, dead serious. It's a pay off my credit cards and my car, and let's go get that Harley Dynaglide. Woo! And maybe 20,000 bucks cash in my pocket so I can ride at the Sturgis, baby, because I deserve it. Refinance. That's what it is. I'm not judging anybody for their spending habits. I just know from the last high rate environment that people will always forego their mortgage rate for a taste of some of the finer things in life. So point number 1 here for today's show. For the love of God, know thy client. A consumer who consumes. Sell them on refinances. Because the truth of the matter is once we blew through the 5s, rates, they're all the same. They're all just too darn high right now. But high rates is not a conversation and certainly is not the determining factor for if people get a refinance. Start the conversation with a HELOC. A second to warm up to the cash out refi. Start with a HELOC and progress to the inevitable. Here's the reason. As Joanna just told you a moment ago, 52% of all cash out loans done right now are HELOCs. But a whopping 48% of those are cash out refinances. And they're growing, and believe it or not, higher rates means more refinances for you if you choose. You need to have these conversations right now, guys, because your past clients are, if not with you, then with your competition. That's obvious, and that is absolute for loan officers who want to succeed right now. Hey guys, so I just got off a webinar with my good friend and partner, Drew Brentz, and Broker Plus right now has enterprise pricing for everybody, meaning whatever a large company is going to pay for the product, you're going to pay as well. It's an LOS, it's a point of sale, it's a PPE, it's an e-signature, CRM, cloud-based, all-in-one solution for loan officers. Check this thing out, guys. It's 99 bucks. It's crazy. Click this for more information. Oh, and a side note, you'll probably run across a few listing opportunities for your realtors out there as well, which is also a loan for you the last time that I checked, which brings me to the second point of today's show. Remember I told you there were 2. And this is one that I said you probably haven't thought of yet. Assumable loans. For about 500 bucks, a borrower can apply and assume an FHA loan. They can get credit and income qualified by the servicer. Did you know that? And did you know that servicers absolutely have to do it? It's the law of the land. So imagine, if you assume a loan, you assume a rate. Rather than the 8s that you're going to get, you could assume a 3% rate. Get this, instead of a 30-year loan, you might even get a 26-year loan. How is that going to happen, Brian? Well, remember, you're assuming the existing loan. You get the seller's rate and you also get their term, including the years they've already paid off. You know, that loan they took out like 4 years ago with 4 years paid off on that 30-year term. Now, here's the tricky part. How does the seller get their equity if the new buyer is just going to assume that loan? Well, this one's really simple, and this is how the whole thing works. You have to have a concurrent second mortgage. That's right, guys. Full circle here. We're back back to that old HELOC, aren't we? You can't get away from these guys as much as you want to. So the new borrower assumes the rate on the first at 3%, right? Gets a second at, let's call it 10%. That has a combined loan to value of 90%, meaning the borrower still has to come up with 10% down, and you end up with a blended rate between that first and that second of a rate somewhere in the fives. So the question you need to be asking yourself is, how many listings could you get as a realtor? How many buyers could you get off the fence? If I were a realtor, I would hunt down every single person who owns a home with an FHA loan right now and talk to them about selling their house. Talk about assuming the loan. They'll get top dollar on the sale of that house because you're marketing not just the home, but you're also marketing that beautiful loan, that beautiful assumable loan that has a rate of 3. You see, the mortgage right now in this market has become part of the value when you're buying and selling a house. Nobody's just seen it that way yet. You do understand this, don't you? I mean, as a loan officer or a realtor, I would talk to that stale buyer and say, would you buy a house if rates were in the fives? If the answer is yes, let's talk about assumable loans and blended interest rates. You have to understand this. You have to get in front of the curve because this is happening right now. Now, if you don't have a 90% CLTV second that closes concurrently, I advise that you get one because this is happening. Now, for realtors, if you're having a hard time understanding this, or you want to better understand how to have a conversation with potential listees and the strategies that you need to use, then let us help you out. We're going to do a webinar this upcoming Tuesday at 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time to go over all of this with you. All I need you to do is to fill out the information down below, jump on, and we will help you realtors figure out how to have this conversation. Hope this helps.